Welcome to Staging the Third Act with your host, me, Janine Escalier-Cato. As you know, this show is by, for, and about baby boomers who don't have the legacy of children and grandchildren. And this is a show that's very close to my heart because I like to showcase people who are leaving their legacies and footprints through creative pursuits. So I'm so excited to have my guest today, Donna-Lisa Otto, who is living my dream. She's a SAG-AFTRA actress, and she has so much to tell us about her life as an actress, a paid actress, and all of her exciting adventures. And I just saw her recently in a play, and oh my God, it was fantastic. So without further ado, Donna, I'd like to have you share with our audience your life, your story, and how exciting you're leaving your legacy.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Janine.
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me here.
Oh, I'm so glad you came.
I really love your topic, which is staging the third act, because I think it's very important. Not having children, I live a different lifestyle
Absolutely.
than my friends, but it doesn't. I think everyone's purpose in life is meant to be, and I've been there for my parents and other people. So I just want to start off with that we all have purpose, and so I'm not child-free. I'm not childless. I'm child-free.
There you go. I just want to say before you start, I just saw your play.
Okay.
It's Sonia, is it Vanya, Sonia?
Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike by Christopher Durang.
And let me tell you, you are a professional.
Oh.
Your role as the, what would you call, the housekeeping psychic.
Right, absolutely.
Was so, I don't know, it was glorious. That's the word I want to say for you in that role.
You.
It was glorious. And it was just, you were such a natural up there. And you were one of the bright spots of that play. I just want to say that.
Oh, well, thank you.
So,
yeah, she was a wonderful character. I'm fortunate to have it and, be a part of this PCT, Placer Community Theater production.
Yes.
And we had a fabulous cast.
You sure
They were
did.
so great to work with. And Chris Harada, who was our director, just was amazing.
It was really amazing production.
And the producers, they were so great, Philip and
Yay, Phil.
and Ardell.
Yes, absolutely incredible
So
people.
it takes a team when you're doing a production like that, and I think we all worked so well together. We had some wonderful people come in to craft the set, which Michael Pierce
It was a great
was
set.
so wonderful to put together before he left, but we had, they were able to pull in other people to help build that. And I mean, when you have everything come together like that, it's magical.
Yes. So acting, talk about why you chose acting and how it edifies you and some of the other projects you've been involved with.
Why I chose acting, I don't know if
Or
I
it chose
it.
you.
It chose me, I think, because when I was young, I was always a performer. I was always a goofball, always wanting to make people laugh. So we used to do plays in our garage. As a family, we would put together, we watched a lot of I grew up in the ages of variety shows.
Oh, yes.
So we watched all the variety shows, Sonny and Cher, the
Carol
Osmonds.
Burnett.
Carol Burnett was, she's my idol.
I know.
I love Carol Burnett, and also I watched all of Barbra Streisand's movies. She was just amazing, funny lady,
Yes.
And my parents loved musicals. So with all that in mind, and they also like music, and we were always putting together variety shows and charging people a quarter to come into the garage to watch it. So I think that's when it just hit me that that's what I wanted to do. And in high school, I was in carousel, and I pursued other. I thought I had to get a real job, so I pursued being a phys ed teacher, physical education, because I'm really good in sports. And I think most of my life I've just been like, I can't focus into one thing until
The
this third
creative
act.
mind.
Until the third act. Now I am very, pinpointed, focused on my acting, which really brings me joy. So I think
It's
in
obvious.
life, you have these experiences that take you all over the place in different environments and meeting different people. And I have to say, right now in my life, it's wonderful, and I love it. And I'm more focused than I've ever been. I feel better than I've ever been. But then again, who knows? I might even feel better 10 years from now. So,
But talk about some other projects you've been involved in.
let's see. So I got into acting. I have a wonderful husband, David, that allowed me the opportunities to study in San Francisco with the fabulous Gene Shelton, and that was off of Sutter Street at the Gene Shelton Theater. And so I had quit my job and went into studying and got an agent in San Francisco back in the day. So I became a union member probably in 1996.
Wow.
So that's been quite a while. And that's just by being on different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a lot of shows, a lot of movies, a lot of sets, mainly in the background because San Francisco, that's basically what you get. If you went to LA, you'd have more opportunities
Sure.
to audition for co-star roles and all those things. But I worked on the set of Nash Bridges, was shot in San Francisco for quite a while.
Oh.
And so we had pagers back then. Okay, I'm gonna age myself. We had pagers. You had to run to a phone,
Yeah.
and call your agent and make sure you get on that set. So I've been on, I think my first, what they call Taft-Hartley, where you're not a union member, but they give you a voucher, and you get 3 of those, and then you can be eligible to be a union member. And so I was on Georgia the Jungle, which shot at Filoli Mansion, and that was like a 3-day shoot. And then The Game was actually my first one, and that was with Michael Douglas.
Nice.
And I still can see myself in that with him. So,
Nice.
I stopped the film. I'm like, oh, there I am. I'm right there.
Cool.
So that was quite the experience. So I've been on sets with Clint Eastwood. I was in True Crime.
Wow.
Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. Jennifer Lopez, The Wedding Planner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was kind of recent.
Yeah, and I was on The Matrix, which shot in
Wow.
Alameda. And
Keanu Reeves. Oh my
yes,
God.
yes, he was on his motorcycle, in fact, on the set.
I love him.
But they built in the hangar in Alameda. They had a hangar, and we all had to dress in these almost next to nakedness, because we were part of the Zion group. And if you've seen The Matrix, that's they had a lot of mixed races, and and they had
Yeah.
a woman's tent, for the extras, and a guy's tent for the extras, because we were pretty scantily clad. But it was fun because you go in there. This was the nicest set to be on because it had stalactites, stalagmites. It had the smoke coming in, and then they brought in a choreographer from Los Angeles, came up and had to teach us this certain dance that we had to do, and we had to yell up to Lawrence Fishburne, which,
Yes.
Zion, Morpheus,
Wow.
So we had a great time, and that was a really fun set to be on. So different sets create, you get to be with different ones. I saw a casting for Planet of the Apes, and I said, I don't care if I'm an extra. I just want to be on the set.
Oh
of
my
Planet
God.
of the Apes. I grew up with Planet of the
I
Apes.
did
I love
too.
that. So I submitted.
The first one was
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh gosh, that was Charlton Heston.
I know. I
Everything
had a
was-
crush on him when I was in 8th
I
grade.
know. I loved Planet of the Apes, and so I submitted, and I actually got on that set, and it was amazing to watch. I was right next to. They had to put dirt stuff on us, and we were these kind of just the survivors,
How
and
exciting.
we had to walk with some of the the actors that were the actual gorillas and stuff had these canes that they would hold, so to make their limbs longer.
Oh,
and they
interesting.
had these outfits on with all the digital
Interesting.
things, so it's all digitized.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting. I got a couple pictures with them, and we had to walk with them and outside, and we actually had one snapshot. Some tourist bus stopped and they just were taking pictures of everyone.
I have a quick story about Roddy McDowall on one of the third
Oh,
movies. I went to
gosh.
UC Irvine to check out the college in 1972. They were doing, I think, the third one. And my girlfriend and I were walking by when they were filming from one of the buildings at UC Irvine. And Roddy McDowall was in his ape suit, and his name was on the back of the director chair.
Oh.
And we kind of tiptoed behind him, and he saw us coming. And he was sitting there real quiet. And when we got behind him, he turned around and he just stared at us. But I could see the twinkle in his eye. And I just kind of,
You're such a good actor.
He was just being really cute. But he stared at us the whole time we walked by, and I kind of waved, But he had the smile in his eye. Just remember that from the third movie. But anyway,
But I would have loved to have seen the costumes. I mean, it was
I know.
interesting to see it, and everything's being digitized anyway.
Right.
The AI thing
Right.
was a real issue for we still don't know what's going to happen with AI. But I'm doing live theater. They can't AI me.
So
And live
are you
theater's here to
open?
stay.
I know you love live theater, but are you open to doing movies?
Oh,
and-
absolutely. I
and-
mean, if a movie comes through, and it just depends, I have done auditions for different movies. I was in a movie in Auburn, actually. I got cast as one of the leads called A One-Sided Affair on Amazon Prime, it is.
Oh.
So if you want to go catch that, Amazon Prime.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a quirky little movie, but I worked very closely with the writer at the time who cast me, and we had to do a little bit of adjusting to
Wow.
get this, all the everything that you need for a film, the sound, the lighting,
Wow.
actors, I helped them with the location, not the location, but the where we were going to have holding. We rented a space for holding for our meals and for our wardrobe, and it was in walking distance to the house we filmed.
Is it a recent movie?
Yeah, it was 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look it
Yeah,
up.
so, and I not only got
And you're the lead?
one of the leads, but also I'm an associate producer on it. And my husband, bless his heart, David, helped with catering, so he
Wow.
did some meals for us, and so he's in it under, and I don't know why they put, crafty, crafty services or whatever, but he was actually catering the meal.
How did you
for
get
us.
that gig?
I heard through the grapevine that someone in Auburn was going to shoot a movie, and so I found the gentleman, which is Tom Madgwell out of Auburn. I sent him my headshot and I sent him my interest and sent it off to him, and he called me. Then he sent me the script right away, and I'm like, wow, that is different. Okay, I'm not in a casting place. They usually goes through casting
Wow.
first, but I'm talking
What an
to a writer,
opportunity.
and I'm thinking, how is this happening? And so then he said, well, just read it and see if you're interested, and then we'll have coffee. And I'm like, I'll have coffee with a writer? I'm like, that never happens. So I met him down at Poor Choice in Auburn, and I had my little binder, and I had the role that he said he wanted me to read, and I was ready to audition. But we sat there for like 2 hours and just talked about movies and about, all the
Interesting.
stuff. And then at the end, I said, well, what do I do? He goes, well, I think you go home and read your lines, learn your lines. I'm like,
Wow.
what? So I came home and told my husband, and
How
it just went
exciting.
on from there. And then I just, we just worked as a close team, and we pulled that movie together. And we had Lorenzo Lamas in it. We had
Wow.
Will Durst, who's
I know
just
Will.
wonderful, wonderful man, wonderful comedian. He's just a fabulous person. Anyway, he played my husband Gramps, and I was Nans. And then Lorenzo Lamas only had a short time, but when he arrived on set, he came, I guess, flew in his helicopter. He loves helicopters. And then he was only there for 3 days, whereas Will was there for 10, I believe, 10 days he shot. And then Larry Bubbles Brown was in it. He's another comedian, big comedian.
So it's a comedic movie, comedy?
It's a comedy. It's got some tough subjects, but I mean, it's not for kids, I don't think. But it's a quirky little movie, and I love it. It was probably the most exciting.
Is it getting good traction on Amazon Prime?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is on, and it's just is what it is.
What do you prefer, stage or cinema?
Good question, because back in the day I would say film, and that's what I focused on, because stage takes a big chunk of time, whereas you might get a script and you might only shoot for 2 days. I love film. I love the sets. I love the action that comes with a film set, all the crew. I try to connect with everyone, but the stage just gives back just a little bit more,
because it's immediate.
Well, you really get to dive into the character, and then and do some research, and you have to do that with every role, but when you're on that stage, there's this energy that you get from the audience.
Yes, I would think so.
And it is just an amazing experience. And so I didn't get into it, I think it was about 2019, was I did a play with an original writer called A Night at Tony B's, Alan Truex had written, and I was Julia, the bartender, which we had a fabulous time. We had to close in 2020, but we reopened and were able to finish that play in 2021, and it was fabulous. We loved it. It was a sweet little play, funny, again, kind of different subjects, but that started me on getting into the theater groups, and I wasn't quite in that loop yet, because that was the first one after I think I did Othello with Ed Claudio, bless his heart.
So it was
one of my favorite. I mean, bless his heart. I went to see one of his last shows, and he was a big influence in my life.
So you do the gamut. You do comedy, drama, Shakespeare.
Well, I'm studying with Tom Todoroff out of New York, and I've been doing that since the pandemic because I needed something to keep me from getting rusty, and they had a Zoom class, and I've always wanted to study with him. When he would come into San Francisco, he used to have teach down in Santa Monica as well, and now he's back in New York. And so when that opened up and I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. Well, now I'm one of the founding members because I started off early with the Zoom class, and it's continued throughout, and I do 5 hours every week with them. They have the first hour we do vocal, we have different instructors come in. It's wonderful.
Wow.
And it's all on Zoom, but you're right there, learning along with about 80 other people.
You're not only acting in
I still
stage,
study.
you still study, you still take classes.
I will not stop studying.
Yeah. So you're full time in this.
I'm full time. This is it. Well, I'm retired as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going into that, and I get, every now and then I'll get a gig that will pay me, a little bit.
Do you get royalties from all these movies that you were like in the background, or you were part of?
No. When you're background, you don't. No.
Like The Matrix, you don't get any royalties.
No. I've had 3 national commercials, and those are the prime ones. I remember I wanted a national commercial so bad, and I just kind of put it in thought. I'm like, I'm going to get a national commercial, and sure enough, in December of that year that I said that, I landed a Ford Taurus commercial, and I went auditioned for it, and they called me, and I was on my way to the Stars, the agency. I was going to their Christmas party, and I remember we're in the car, we're all dressed to the nines, and I get a call from my agent saying, you booked it. And I'm like, well, what does it pay? And she goes, it's a national commercial, which means you don't know what it's going to end up paying, because that was back in the residual days before cable and all this came.
Uh-huh.
And so if it was in the New York market, you would get a check. If it was in Chicago market, you would get a check. And so we just were like, it was, happy birthday, here you go, here's another check, Dave, I got another check. And for like 2 years they ran it, and I had what they call lifts. And each time they do a lift, you get paid as if you just shot that commercial. So you get another big check. So 5 times they took my little clip and put it in and renamed it. And that's called a lift. Well, they did it 5 times. So that one paid me huge money. And I was able to have insurance through the union, because you have to make a particular amount. And then I did a Subaru commercial, which I went in as a background, but then they pulled me out of the crowd, and they made me the mother of the bride. And that one, was it?
What year was
Really
that?
nice. Oh,
Because now they're doing the dogs.
2000. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I get lost. I mean, if you
Not,
told me to
but
name all
not
the places.
recently.
It was, it wasn't too long ago. Maybe
Okay.
2008, 2017.
Oh, okay, not too
Yeah, about
long.
2017. And that was really fun. And I knew it. I said, I have one chance because I was still background. I said, one chance to make a mark, to get into the, to get a principal bump, which is you become an OCP, which is on camera principal. And so the other gentleman that was my husband, he was pulled out of the extras too, and we were dressed. They went and changed my clothes into a nice formal dress, which I have today because a costumer gave me.
Wow,
Said, you can keep it. I said, I really love this dress. She goes, you can keep it. I'm like, yes.
That's
and
great. What
still
a
had
perk.
its tag, and so I've worn it many times. But so when we were there, we were in a kind of an improv mode, and they were shooting this way, and they had the church on the other side, and the car pulls up, which is, you're focused there, and they get in, the 2 principals that came up from LA, they get in the car. Well, I helped her with her dress and everything, and then I went and blew her a kiss, and then I waved. Well, that gave me 5 seconds, and then I was a principal. So I just improvised. I was thinking, I got to do something.
Of course, if you spoke,
I got to make sure that I'm happy and I'm in there, and that
if you
gave me my
spoke,
ball.
you would have probably been paid more, right?
No.
No?
Well, maybe, but people think you have to speak in order to get a principal, and that is not right.
Oh.
No, because all you have to do is be seen. And
That's
I got a
interesting.
bump on another one where I became an OCP on IBM, and I didn't even know. I wouldn't have even gone, pushed the union to get that. The Subaru, I did push the union, and then a lot of other people did as well, because they weren't exactly jumping on the point to give us, the bump that we wanted. But we all, the union, bless their hearts, I love my SAG-AFTRA union. They will fight for you and get you what you need and take care of you.
So your agent basically finds these things for you?
Not necessarily. Casting networks, if you're a member on that, if you have an agent, then it's covered, but otherwise people have to pay, I think, and I don't know what that is. I've never had to pay for it.
So what are casting networks?
Casting network is it's a company online that, and I believe, if I could be wrong, but I believe that Bo Bonneau, who was a huge casting company at the time, had started that off, and now there's LA casting networks and San Francisco
So
casting
you
networks.
have to join and then check out jobs?
And then they will send it to you via email.
Oh.
You put your profile in there.
Okay.
You have all your information, your resume, everything is downloaded. You can. I pay extra to have more photos and videos that I can put
Okay.
on there. But
That's
yeah.
kind of neat.
Yeah, well, that's how you get the jobs. As soon as it comes on your phone, now we have our cell phones. So as soon as it
That's
pops up,
great.
you submit right away. So
That's
that's the
great.
trick. There's lots of little tricks.
And so then, okay, so if it comes up, then you make arrangements to go in for a interview or?
You submit. It'll say submit for role.
Okay.
And they might ask you, you know, in the notes, put your SAG-AFTRA number.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, or availability. So you go on there and then you submit, and then it'll say you've been submitted. Now, if they're interested, which is what happened with this one that I'm doing right now, is they will send you a media request from the casting, or if your agent has done it, then your agent will send you, you know, you've been asked to send in a self-tape.
How exciting, because to me it's like a treasure hunt. All of a sudden something pops up and you go, oh, this looks good. Oh, this might be fun. To me that would be so exciting.
You have to look at them because, you know, when is it shooting? You know, you better be available.
Yeah.
And,
but to me, it's
you know,
like an adventure. You know, you're
That's
traveling
right.
this road and you don't know what's coming, and all of a sudden this exciting thing comes up and you don't know what you're going to get into. And
yeah, so I'm open to anything. I just kind of leave it out there in the universe.
what is your next? We have 5 minutes, so what is your next project?
I actually do a lot of productions with. Well, I am on the board of Placer Community Theater.
Nice.
And so we're going to be working on what's to come next for us, which we had a wonderful run, which was great. But in the meantime, I was requested by a company that I also work with, Main Street Theater Works. They're out of Jackson. And they requested that I audition for the role of Gertrude in The Underpants by Steve Martin. It's a book adapted by Steve Martin.
Oh, that would be great.
So I am going to be in that middle of June, July.
Nice.
So I started rehearsals in May. Yeah.
Here in Auburn?
No, in Jackson.
Jackson.
So
Well, that's close.
it's an amphitheater, Kennedy Mines Amphitheater. It's wonderful. They are a great organization, and I love working with them. I love the people that I work with there too.
So we have a few minutes for you to kind of wrap up and to tell the viewers how they can get a hold of your sites and get a hold of you. And we have 2 minutes. And again, say the movie that's on Prime Video for our viewers so they can see you in action.
Well, have fun with it. It's called A One-Sided Affair, and it is on Amazon Prime. So you can just go there.
Donna-Lisa Otto.
Donna-Lisa Otto.
O-T-T-O.
Yes, I play Nance. And I'm also associate producer, so I'm very proud of that. And Tom Madwell, who was the writer, director, producer, everything, he actually came to our play, and I haven't seen him since we wrapped. So in 2018, so he and his wife Regina, bless their hearts, came to see the play, and it was wonderful to see him. And also, Alan Truax and his lovely wife Lynn came to see the play, and those are two people that have, you know, given me wonderful opportunities in my life, and I am grateful to them.
How nice. Yeah. So you want to give out any information?
So you can reach me on Instagram at Donna-Lisa Smiles. What else am I going to say? I go by, you know, I have a lot of Mona Lisas. So anyway.
Well, I've learned so much today about the business. I can't even tell you. My head is spinning. I've learned so much, and it's exciting. And thank you. We could talk for another hour.
I know. One of these days I'll work into teaching and putting together classes for that because
so
it is definitely some tricks that
I used to do community theater in my other life, and I was in college. I was my minor was theater, and I would love if you put together some classes because I'll be there.
I know. I've had people say that, and I'm like, you know, it's kind of that balance. So you know, it's. Anyway, I don't know when, but it will happen.
Good.
It will happen because I like giving back to the community.
I would love that.
Which is really important to me.
That's why I love doing this show, because I meet people like Donna-Lisa.
I meet people like you. What are you
How lucky am I? How blessed am I? So again, thank you, viewers, for watching my show, Staging the Third Act, and this is what you get when you tune in. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.